North Korea has been described as everything from a hermit kingdom to the last Stalinist regime. Many of its impoverished citizens have little contact with the outside world, and the country's highly effective police state has no tolerance for dissent. The few outside visitors to the capital of Pyongyang are followed by minders and can't stray from approved areas. Add to this the belligerent statements by leaders and strange propaganda videos, and it all makes North Korea a notoriously hard place for Western observers and intelligence agencies to accurately assess. Bruce Klingner is a former chief of the CIA's Korea branch.
Well, North Korea is the hardest of the hard targets. It is a very difficult intelligence problem.
But among those able to glean information about the country is a loose-knit collection of scholars, analysts, and former CIA officers. These Pyongyang watchers attempt to decode everything that goes on in the capital and beyond, from personnel changes to power shifts. They interview defectors, monitor state TV, and study propaganda photos. Collectively, their insights have helped paint a picture of the regime, even as its intentions remain mysterious. Experts say a big key to understanding North Korea is understanding its leadership. The current ruler is Kim Jong-un, the son of the late Kim Jong-il, the reclusive dictator who succeeded his own father, Kim Il-sung. While Kim Jong-un is more charismatic and less camera-shy than his father, he's also an enigma to analysts because he has no track record. Many see his current shows of bravado in keeping with what his predecessors did to deter countries that want to undermine North Korea's military ambition. Bruce Cummings is a North Korea scholar and author of several books on the country.
North Korea has had through its entire history, going back to the 1940s, a very standard practice of ratcheting up tension when there's something that it wants.
Pyongyang watchers have also noted that Mr. Kim has removed several military leaders, a move, some say, to assert his leadership and consolidate power. Others think it's an attempt to put politics at the center of government instead of the military. Even so, Cummings and others warn that it's wrong to assume Kim Jong-un is completely in control of the North Korean government.
The most important person in the regime for making decisions, in my view, is Chang Sung-taek, who is his uncle-in-law, married to Kim Jong-il's sister. He's been at the center of North Korean political life for decades.
But a recent book by research analyst Ken Gauss shows that even with several decision makers, the country's security apparatus is very well coordinated to quell dissent.
You have informants throughout the country, and in the book I talk about the informant structure and how that works, and the fact that this informant structure knows what everybody is doing every day of their life.
One of the obvious ways that the West knows what it does about North Korea is through intelligence gathered from aerial surveillance and other spycraft methods.
From satellites, U-2 planes that fly across the peninsula with side-look cameras, infrared heat detectors.
Analysts also study propaganda photos and videos, but those only go so far in helping read the tea leaves of the regime.
It will reveal the mood in the country, the signals that the regime is trying to send, not only to its opponents, but to its domestic audience as well.
Pyongyang watchers were abuzz several years ago when a memoir by Kim Jong-il's former personal chef depicted the dictator with a taste for caviar and cognac. It's the kind of first-hand glimpse into the upper echelons that's exceptionally rare, if not unprecedented. Experts agree that the secretive inner circle of North Korea's government is exceedingly hard, if not impossible, for intelligence agents to penetrate. But many Pyongyang watchers agree that the West has a good handle on North Korea's military capabilities. Part of this is due to numerous UN weapons inspections over the years.
North Korea does not have a nuclear weapon that could reach the United States unless they put it in a U-Haul truck and bring it over the Canadian border. Then they'd have to get it to Canada.
Much of what we know about everyday life in North Korea has come in the aftermath of the crippling famine that took place there in the 1990s. The famine showed many North Koreans that the state couldn't provide for them, and so they started moving back and forth across borders for their survival. Nat Crutchin is the co-author of a State Department-commissioned report about North Koreans' access to outside media.
famine period of the late 1990s was a big turning point because the public distribution system broke down. The kind of state-society relationship that had been there for a long time no longer functioned, and people had to, find coping mechanisms, find other ways to make money, get food, find information.
Crutchen says defectors have been a big source of information about what goes on inside North Korea. According to his research, there are more cell phones now inside the country, and in limited areas, people have access to DVDs and news radio from other countries. Foreign visitors to North Korea are also helping shed light on the cryptic regime. Though the parts of Pyongyang that tourists can go are often staged, a range of images from the city can be seen on travel blogs. Perhaps the biggest recent head-scratcher for Pyongyang watchers was the trip that former NBA star Dennis Rodman took to the country in February. He got an audience with Kim Jong-un, who's a basketball fan. The two even sat together courtside to watch a game. Kim reportedly told Rodman that he hoped the visit would break the ice between the U.S. and North Korea. Some North Korea experts think these kinds of visits are what's needed to increase our understanding of the regime, when more traditional routes don't work.
It brought the entire senior leadership together. If we would have had people as part of that delegation that actually knew what they were looking at, it would tell us a lot about how these people are interacting with this young son.
But others think this is an approach that's been tried before.
Just when North Korea seems like it can't possibly get any more bizarre, it does.
For the Wall Street Journal, this is Mark Scheffler in New York.